Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning to our online community. It's good to have you with us today. I'm glad that you are joining us today for a wonderful celebration. Am I on, Trey? Yes. And if you are at home, I'm sorry you are missing some awesome food. Okay. Okay. Well,
Update on Doris. She's having a tough time in the hospital because she has a lot of issues with her kidneys. And because of that, they have to be very careful about the antibiotics they give her and the pain meds that they give her. So she's in a lot of pain and they worry about some infection. So we're just getting her through the next few days in the hospital before she gets home. But the surgery itself went well.
yes. Yeah. That's good. All right. Well, again, welcome everybody. I'm glad that you are with us online and in person. It's a great day to be at Stello Grove, and like I said, I'm not going to cry this service. I have it pretty much manuscript, so I'm going to probably read it because otherwise I would be here like 16 hours while I sob through it. So I struggled a lot with what to say today. So I just want to start by saying thank you. Here we go. Yeah. This is a good group of people. I'm grateful for all of you. Yeah, no crying, except me. And and also I'm grateful for Ted and Leslie. We would not be here today without them. They stepped in at a strategic time. Do you want to read the letter? I think so. We wrote a letter to them to thank them, but Becky's going to read it. You got it. We just want to read the letter. You want? We didn't plan on reading it.
We really didn't plan on reading it, but we're going to say to Ted and Leslie, who have served as our elders for a few years.
Almost 4 years.
Almost 4 years, yes. Thank you for standing with us. We are so grateful for your incredible gift of leadership and wisdom over the past almost 4 years. You have stood with us, supported us, encouraged us, protected us, and loved us well. We are grateful. It would have been easier for you to leave when we asked you to be elders. Instead, you took a big risk. We are thankful that instead of leaving, you stood up for us in our calling. We can honestly say without reservation that I do not think we would still be in ministry if you did not say yes to us almost 4 years ago in Panera Restaurant. Stello has always been small in number. However, as Dave said to me last week, we might be small in numbers, but we have been large in significance. Stello has been an incredible blessing that has helped many people. The people of Stello are in a great position to be sent out with a purpose. We are all being sent today to make a difference because you both said this church is worth fighting for. You have blessed all of us. We love and appreciate you both so much. The entire community of Stello has grown because of your love, leadership, and dedication. Because of your determination, we are all going to be sent today with a purpose to make a difference in the world for Jesus. Thank you for being difference makers. Love, Jack and Becky.
And then there's Greg. I didn't know Greg 4 years ago. 4 years ago this Sunday, I shared my testimony. And as you probably figured out, I was up here crying like I typically do. And I didn't have any tissues. And all of a sudden, this guy who I did not know by the name of Greg starts walking up the aisle towards me. And I'm like, what is this guy do? Is he going to hit me? I had no idea. But he came and he brought me a box of tissues. I remember that. Yeah, I remember that. He brought me tissues. And he stood in. He did not even know us. And our worship leader had to quit. And nothing bad. That's a good relationship I have. And Greg's like, I'll be your worship leader. At that time, he wasn't even playing guitar. I don't even think he knew my last name. If he knew my last name, he definitely didn't know how to spell it. And he stood in at a difficult time. I don't think we would have continued. Yeah. We were devastated. And it's nothing bad with old worship leader. It's just the timing. We thought, we're done. And Greg.
Well, the truth is that Jack and I, the week after that, walked into the hallway and looked at each other and said, I think we're done.
Yeah.
And that's the exact moment you walked up to us and said, I think I can lead worship for you. And that was the big issue for us. We just didn't see a way to move forward from that moment. And that has allowed us to have the last 4 years because you did that. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And I could go through and list every single one of you and thank you for all of your contributions and all of your prayers and all of your friendships. It's priceless.
Yes.
And we will always be a Grove. So we won't, even if we end up different places, we will be a community. So thank you. I'm honored to have known all of you. It's like you are all new people in my life 9 years ago, except Rich. Known him forever. And he had enough. It's like that guy's just going to cry the next hour and a half I'm leaving. So thank you. And so like all of you, Becky and I are filled with emotions today. On the one hand, we're excited. I'm really excited for the future. I'm excited for the new possibilities. I'm excited to be going to Mosaic. I'm excited to be part of a church that's dedicated to the marginalized, dedicated to the people that are in a tough situation. I love the fact that we are moving into a church that is in a difficult neighborhood. Some of you know that our permanent location is the Boys and Girls Club off South Division in Crofton. Right now, that place is under a $5 million renovation. So by the end of the year, it's going to be beautiful. So right now, we're meeting at another Boys and Girls Club off MLK. And so we'll be there just a couple more months. But I love the location that we're going to be in off South Division in a neighborhood of people that really need us, that we can go in and show love and compassion. And so it's great. We're meeting at a Boys and Girls Club. Kids go there all week, and then on the weekend, pop, there's a church. So it kind of has a built-in community. And this is a cool thing about our location. That Boys and Girls Club is literally on top of a river. There is a river that runs underneath the Boys and Girls Club. That's probably like in the street. It's called the Silver Creek. It's a creek that went from Boston Square to the Grand River. And as the city grew, they're like, dang, this is inconvenient to have that little river there. So they put culverts and they put it underground. So it's kind of cool when you read the book of Isaiah and talk about the rivers and the rivers gushing forth. And, I love that when I go to that location. I think there's a river under here. There's a river under there. And, now there's all this talk about, they're opening up the Grand River and want to make it more natural, that people are talking about, let's open up Silver Creek again. I don't know how they would do that because it's under the city, under sidewalks, under roads, but there is a literal, I don't know how big Silver Creek is, anybody knows, but it runs under it. So that's cool. So that's exciting for us. But at the same time, I'm sad. I'm going to miss this. I love this Sunday morning thing. This is a really good community. What we do here has been fantastic. The intercession that we've done in this room is remarkable. That we've said, let's be a community that prays together. Let's take seriously our prayer requests. I'm going to miss that deeply. I'm going to miss Kim's food. I'm going to miss her wild desserts every week. You're like, what did she make? I'm going to miss Ditmar every week saying, I made something and I don't like it. It's terrible. But eat it anyway. I'm going to miss that. I'm going to miss, during my service, I'm getting towards the end, and I see these little Sudanese kids in the hallway, are they done yet? Are they done yet? Are there donuts? And I'm going to miss those little kids. I said to Kira, we might have to send a box of donuts every week for a while. I'm sad they don't have a donut today, but we'll give them brownies and we'll give them cookies and spaghetti and whatever we give them. I'm going to miss that. There's a lot of fun things we had. And finally, I'm excited and I'm a little sad. And sometimes I wonder, why didn't God make us bigger? Why didn't God cause us to grow? We prayed fervently. We thought we did everything God called us to do, and yet we really didn't grow. But as Dave said, and Becky prayed earlier, Dave Vanderveen, who's been such a prophetic voice in our church, said, we didn't grow in numbers, but we grew in significance. We grew in impact. And what we did in this little room with each other impacted our lives and impacted the city. So that's a good thing. we have grown. We've all grown. The people who've left have grown. The people who've left, they even come back, so that's a good thing. So we all carry these different emotions of excitement and sadness and disappointment, and I'm praying for all of you as you journey with us. And I know next week I will be at Mosaic Church, and I know some of you have plans to check out Mosaic Church and to see if that would be God's new home for you. And I know some of you might be feeling like God's calling me to a different place, and that is going to be hard, not seeing everybody every Sunday morning, but we're trusting in the goodness of God to lead each one of us to where we need to be. And trusting God that as we journey and we discern, we will know where we need to be, and we're praying for each other that we would know where to be. I love it if all of you are called to go to Mosaic with me and Becky, but I respect the fact that maybe God will call you different places, but we will still be a family. We'll still be a community together, and no matter where we go, we will be a grove, because as you remember, a grove is defined by a bunch of root systems that are grown together to support each other. You cannot grow in a grove and then leave. You're stuck in a grove. You really don't get to leave, so you're stuck. So about 9 years ago, some of you were here, were at the beginning. I know Donna and Lori were in the beginning. Chad, you came pretty soon in the very beginning, I think. And Ted and Leslie were here, but you're traveling a lot. But we started Lake Effect Church 9 years ago, and we started with 4 goals. We wanted the church to be a place where people would know God, find freedom, discover purpose, and make a difference. Those were the 4 primary goals of Lake Effect Church, and we all love that mission. We all love the name of Lake Effect. Some of you may not know, but Lake Effect is simply a weather pattern. West Michigan is known as lake effects that produce snow, but the goal of Lake Effect is Lake Effect fruit. That is the purpose of Lake Effect snow, is to produce Lake Effect fruit. We considered Michigan area a fruit belt. Some of the best fruit in the world is grown in this area. Glad you came back. He's like, man, I had it with that guy. I've known him way too long. And so as a church, we have been a community that has borne much fruit. We have experienced the weather, and we have borne much fruit, and that's been good. So a couple years ago, we changed the name to Stello Grove just to keep people on their toes, but also a way that reflected our commitment and our new identity that God's called us to. And Stello it's a wonderful Greek word that I absolutely love, because it means to gather, it means to prepare, and to send people with purpose. Stello is kind of where you get the root apostolic, because Stello is part of that word, and it's simply Stello, gather, equip people, and send them with purpose. And again, a grove, that's an English word that just means a bunch of trees that grow together in a grove, and their strength is because they are together. But the meaning is, how we define grove is a number of individuals gathered together, especially for a particular purpose. And that's what we've been. We've been a group of people that have gathered together for a particular purpose. As a church, it's been our desire for people to experience God, to be seen by God, to be encountered by Jesus, and transformed by the Holy Spirit. That's all we wanted. We wanted people to encounter God, encounter Jesus, and be transformed by the Holy Spirit. So we had this tagline always for Stello, that as a community, our purpose has been to grow together and become like Christ, and to be sent with a purpose. The theme of Lake Effect Church and the theme with Stello Grove has always been to send people out with a purpose. So today we are not ending Stello Grove. We did not fail. We are not to the end because of something we did wrong. Instead, we are all being sent today. We're all being sent with a purpose. Today we are being commissioned by God to go from Stello Grove and to make a difference in the world. To make a difference in a world that is looking for answers that can only be satisfied by Jesus. All of you are not just people. You're not regular people. You are answers. Yes. You are answers. Yes. Each one of you has been molded by God. You've been shaped by God. You've encountered Jesus. You've been transformed by Jesus. That you are an answer that other people are looking for. Your testimony is an answer. Your wisdom is an answer. Your maturity is an answer. You are answers that other people are looking forward to. You've been molded by God to partner with God for the sake of other people. As we often said all through Stello Grove, that the purpose of discipleship, that the purpose of spiritual formation is for the sake of others. God has done a work in us because he loves us, but it's also for the sake of others. Today we are being commissioned, and God is saying to us, go and make a difference for the sake of others. We are the church. No matter where we go, we will be the church. We will be the Stello Grove for the sake of other people. God's blessed each one of us with healing, with renewal, with restoration. We've grown. We've changed. We have more growth to happen in our life, but as we go from here, we are going to help other people grow and mature and to be answers for other people. And I'm excited for that. I'm excited for what God has done in my life through Stello Grove. A lot of times, pastors get to the end. They're burnt out. They've had it. Becky and I are like, we're just beginning. This has been the best 9 years of our life. We got a little stuffing beat out of us at times, but we are better people now than we were when we started the church. We have more energy, we have more vision, we have more tenacity than we ever have had in our life. This has been a wonderful experience because of all of you, for what you've done for us, for how you prayed for us and encouraged us. You risked your reputation for us. And we're grateful, very grateful. It's been easy to walk away, but you stood with us because we want to make a difference for this city, for this community, for this world. And for that, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for what God is going to continue to do. Let me blow my nose a minute. Now, I'm ready to move on. I don't have tissues. You know, you guys know all my favorite theologians and all the people I love to quote. There'll be a test at the end of the hour on that. But one of the guys I love to quote is Jay Stringer. Jay Stringer wrote a book called Unwanted. I love that book. It's been a guide for me. In the book, he says, what is the joy set before you? And he says, the joy that's set before you is to heal the wounds of your brokenness, recognize that they don't have to have the final word in your life, and open up a new map to travel to the places you've always wanted to go. That's the purpose of the restoration that God does in our life, so that we don't think our own brokenness is the last word in our life. God wants to open up a map. God's done that for each of us. Each of us has experienced more and more restoration. And now he is opening up the map and saying, I'm sending you out with a purpose. So I've adapted Jay's saying here and saying, okay, what is the joy that's set before us? The joy that sets before all of you today is to partner with God to heal the wounds of other people's brokenness. Helping people recognize that their wounds do not have the final word in their life. That's what God's sending us out to do, to help heal the wounds of a world that is so broken that they're almost dead. He's sending you to be healers. You've been commissioned by Jesus. You are being sent today with his power and with his authority and with his strength. You've been equipped with spiritual gifts. You've been equipped with wisdom and discernment, and God is sending you out into a world that desperately, desperately, desperately needs you. We are not ending today. We are being sent with a purpose to see the lost come to Jesus. Isaiah 58 is probably one of my favorite chapters in the Bible. I think it's a really good chapter for all of us, and I think especially kind of pastors, because it's a pretty good job description of what you need to do. What you need to do and how God responds with his promises. So there's a lot of instructions in Isaiah 58 on how to treat people, how to treat vulnerable people, how to show love and compassion. And then in the middle of Isaiah 58, it gives this promise from God that says, Yahweh will always guide you where to go and what to do. He will fill you with refreshment even when you are in a dry, difficult place. He will continually restore strength to you so you will flourish like a well-watered garden and like an ever-flowing, trustworthy spring of blessing. That's where that river under the city comes in handy. Your people will rebuild long deserted ruins, building anew on foundations laid long before you. You will be known as repairers of the cities and restorers of communities. That's what you guys are going to be known as. Repairers of cities and restorers of communities. That's why God is sending us out. He's sending us out because we are all flourishing. Each one of us is flourishing in our own way because of what God has done. I love the word flourishing. It's a beautiful Old Testament word. It's really such a beautiful word that really in the New Testament they would say blessing a lot. You are blessed. If you put it in Hebrew, you'd much more say flourishing. We're all flourishing. I love the definition of flourishing, and I forgot where I got it from, but it says, flourishing in the Bible signifies deep spiritual vitality, faithfulness, and fruitfulness, rooted in faith and righteousness, rather than material wealth or worldly success. You're all flourishing. You have deep spiritual vitality, faithfulness, and fruitfulness, rooted in faith and righteousness. That describes us. We are the people that God has poured his heart and his life into. We sing the song Cathedral, and God has done that to each and every one of you. You've been transformed by the power of the Holy Spirit to be a blessing for the sake of other people. The only thing that we are ending today is our long, long series on the Sermon on the Mount that we started probably 10, 11, 12 months ago. And I get credit for hanging out, sticking to it. I normally, after 3 weeks of a series, I'm bored and I move out. And I hung out with Sermon on the Mount since...
Part 30.
Yeah, part 30. So we have to read the last few verses of Matthew 7 before we close. It's about the wise and the foolish builder. Therefore, everyone who hears these words of mine and puts them into practice is like the wise man who built his house on the rock. The rains came down, the streams rose, and the wind blew and beat against the house, yet it did not fall, because it had a foundation on the rock. But everyone who hears these words of mine and does not put them into practice is like a foolish man who built his house on the sand. The rains came down, the streams rose, and the winds blew and beat against the house, and it fell with a great crash. When Jesus had finished saying these things, the crowds were amazed at his teaching because he taught as one who had authority and not as their teachers of the law. See, the heart of this whole chapter comes down to verse 24. It's kind of the heart of the whole Sermon on the Mount that says, therefore, everyone who hears these words of mine and puts them into practice. That is the instruction after reading the Sermon on the Mount. Put them into practice. Practice. I don't need to convince any one of you to put these into practice. I don't have to think of a nice sermon to convince you to put them into practice to change your life, because I know that you are already putting them into practice. You are a group of people that loves Jesus, desires to follow Jesus, and you put into practice the words of Jesus. The whole core of the whole teaching of the Sermon on the Mount is right relationship with God and other people. It all comes down to relationships. How do we build healthy and strong relationships? Not ones that end up in division, but how do we build relationships together? I don't need to convince any of you to put into practice. I don't need to convince any of you to build on a strong foundation, because you are doing it. And why are you doing it? Because verse 28, and I love this way the Sermon on the Mount ends, it says, because when Jesus finished these things, the crowds were amazed at his teaching. I don't need to convince you. You've all been amazed by Jesus. You've been transformed because you have been amazed by Jesus. That is what transformed your life. The amazing word, it comes from the Greek word. It means to astonish, to amaze, to be struck with amazement. That's what that word means. It says people are amazed at Jesus' teaching. They were astonished. That verb occurs 13 times in the Greek New Testament. It always describes the vivid, visceral reaction of people who encounter the word or works of God in Christ or his apostles. Something that is visceral is either related to the soft internal organs of the body, or more commonly, it's felt deeply and instinctually rather than intellectually. That's what happens when you have that encounter with Jesus. It's not always this intellectual thing that happens. It's this visceral thing that happens on the inside that just changes you and you have no words for it. That is why you are people that are dedicated to Jesus, because you've been amazed by Jesus. He's transformed your inside in ways that you don't even know, but he's doing it and he continues to do it. See, the beauty of that word to be amazed is not just Jesus did it, but his apostles did it too. He sent out his apostles to teach his word, to tell his word, so other people would be amazed. You are being sent today to be amazing for other people. You've been amazed by Jesus. Now is your opportunity to be amazing for other people. That is how we are all being sent today. We are sent with a purpose to show others the amazement that we have all experienced. Becky and I love you. We're grateful for each and every one of you. We're grateful that you've been part of the Grove. You've been part of Lake Effect. We're grateful for the future. We're excited for the future to see what God does in us. But I'm excited for the people's lives that we are going to touch. The people that don't know Jesus that we're going to interact with. The people that are broken, that God's going to use us to pour life into them. That excites me. I'm a little nervous about next week. I don't know how many of you I'll see. Things are going to be different. Things are going to change for all of us. But we are being sent with a purpose to make a difference in the world. We are being sent with a purpose to love other people, to encourage other people, and to see other people not be limited because of what the enemy's done in their life. We've all encountered Jesus, and now Jesus is sending us out and saying, I want you to make a difference. My prayer is that you are going to know without a doubt where God is leading you next Sunday and the Sundays that follow. That you're going to know what God is opening up for you to do in the future. That you are going to know how to take what Jesus has done in your life and multiply it to see other people. You're being sent with a purpose, being sent with a mission. All of you are empowered by Jesus. You're going to do mighty works. You're going to do greater works than Jesus, the Bible tells us. You have the authority. You have the power. You have the transformation. You have the wisdom. You have the restoration of being sent. Go do it. Go do the stuff, as John Wimber used to say. Go do the stuff. Do the stuff that Jesus told us to do. Go do it. Be bold for Jesus. Be bold. Walk in confidence, knowing that the Spirit of God is going to be with you. That's my prayer for us. I'm excited for what God has done here in the Stello. We're not ending today. This is not a funeral service. This is a commissioning service. So today I say go. Go in the power that God has given you. Go in confidence. May God bless you. May he multiply your influence. May you be strategic in all that you do. May you walk with confidence. May you walk with hope. May you walk in just the passion that God has put in your soul. May God just stir up the desires that he has put in your heart so that you passionately pursue what he's called you to do. So often God gives us desires and we lose them over time because we get disappointed. Sometimes we even forget about the desires that we have, and I believe that God's going to stir up the desires in your heart over today and over this next week, that you realize maybe some kind of ministry that God has called you to do that maybe you've ignored. And God's going to put it on your heart this week, something for you to pursue. That's my prayer for you. You all have been delivered from so many things. You've been set free, and now the time to go help others get set free, to walk in more boldness and confidence. Do you have anything you want to say? Put her on the spot.
You did, but you've done that before. Yes, so thank you, and I agree with Jack. One thing I've always said about this community is we may be small. Oh, I'm still attached to Jack. Well, isn't that appropriate? We may be small in numbers, but I've always felt like we have been really an extraordinary group of people in terms of our ministry capacity and experience and desire. This has always been like a concentrated group. It's almost like that old orange juice that was concentrated and frozen in a can, and you had to add a bunch of water to it to make it even drinkable because it was so concentrated. I have always felt like Stello Grove is like that concentrated in a way that when God is ready to release it, will really bring flavor and just spread the gospel in a way that is palatable and beautiful. And I don't think that I will lose any of you all as friends and be in touch with you. I'm glad we're still going to continue our signal group and other things like that. And by the way, yes, ladies, this is our Wednesday, and we are going to meet here this Wednesday. We've got till the end of the month in this room. So I just feel, I've always felt that. I've shared that at different times. We're a concentrated group, and now God is ready to add the water to us to make it, to add us into the ecosystem of the church in a way that we, that's going to flavor it in a whole different way. So, you want, and a
very famous artist did this for us. So famous, I can't say her name. So this has always been a verse that we've held on to.
Go to a handheld mic if you want.
I like this. We've always held on to this verse, and about a few years ago, Donna did this for us, and it's always, I copied it, so I have one there, one here, I have one at home, but it's a beautiful verse that reminds us of the Grove. It says, the smallest family will become 1,000 people, and the tiniest group will become a mighty nation. At the right time, I, the Lord, will make it happen.
Out of Isaiah 50:22.
Yeah, 60:22. It's a beautiful verse that just reminds us of the things that God is going to do. So we close today saying, I thank God. So Becky, let's sing the song, I Thank God, one of our favorite songs. And then after we do I Thank God, then we can go into time of sharing if anybody wants to share.
But before we do that, we want to wrap up our time with our online community.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for having been a faithful part of our online community. And we'll figure out a way to let you all know. Jack's first preaching at Mosaic Church is going to be November 2nd, is going to be his first time of preaching. Might be some of what some of you all have heard, but he'll put it together in a new package. And we'll let you all know that if you want to. They have a live stream as well. So if you all want to have that, then, someone else will get that doorbell. We would love to have you be a part of Mosaic Church in their live stream, and especially on November 2nd when Jack has his first time in the pulpit there. And so as we wrap up, we just want to say thank you so much to our online community for your faithfulness as well. Do you want to add anything?
A little technical issue, a little accounting. Our books will stay open through the end of the year. So, all the accounting will process. In January, you'll get your receipt of your giving. And all of Andrew's money will continue to process through Stello Grove through the end of the year. And we're working on a transition, what we're going to do with Andrew's money for next year. But Andrew is taken care of. But any giving to Andrew, just keep giving it to Stello Grove through the end of the year, and he gets the money. So that will be perfect. So.
Yeah, and then after that will switch over to Mosaic as well. But we'll give more instructions to those of you who faithfully give to Andrew. Yeah. So do you want to say goodbye to our online community before we end?
So it's been wonderful to be part of your life, and thank you for encouraging us. And I know some people of our community are at home watching today that could not be here. We love you, and I look forward to seeing you. Yeah, bless you to my mother-in-law. Amen. Okay. All right.